Hey, hi, how are you? Happy Thursday. I never know when this is going live or not. So it says it's live now, but it said it was live before. I don't know. So, hey, hi, how are you? Happy Thursday. Welcome. It's another Do My Nails with me. As you can see, they are horrible. Now, this is the difference between painting my nails and using nail strips. So this week we're going back to nail strips, but this week is going to be a little different. If you hear a little voice, it's still nap time. She gets up when it's lunchtime, and nap time is quiet time around here. We have 2 quiet times a day, mostly because she actually still needs 2 naps, even though she's technically aged out of them, but whatever. You moms know. You feel me? Just because experts say it should happen doesn't mean it's going to happen for your kid, right? Am I right? I know I am. So, again, bedroom, not doing well. But this is self care for me, and I'm trying to take that seriously. So, we're just gonna jump in today. This week's gonna be kind of a product test. I have been using most of the time the color street nails. But what I did was my husband went to Walmart and I wanted him to get me a purple nail polish, so he did. So I got this pretty purple, which I'll probably be using next week. But I saw these coconut nail art, and they are made by the same people that make, it's this in cocoa, that make Color Street. And I thought, well, let's just see. Let's do a product test. So I'm going to do this stripy color. Now I can already tell you right away there are some differences. This one's called Song of the Sea. There are differences in how they're packaged and what they come with. So Color Street comes with a nail file and a prep pad and 2 sets of nails. So you could do your nails and toes, or you could wait a little bit. They tell you to use it right away, but you really can wait a little bit and have 2 manicures from it. But this comes with 1 set. Like, you have like enough for 1 manicure, and it comes with a cuticle pusher, which I actually think if I'm gonna pay so much for Color Street, it should also come with this little wooden cuticle pusher, because like this can't cost that much if it's in the Walmart brand version, right? Like, doesn't make sense. And it comes with a smaller, not branded buffer. So we're going to do this. We're going to do Song of the Sea today by Coconut Nail Art. And I'll tell you if it's the same quality as their other nails. It should be, but I'll let you know. And this week I actually have to take my nails off on camera, because usually that part's done by now. But like I said, I have not been doing well today. So let's talk while I do my nails. Let's talk about mindset. So this week I'm going to share with you guys some people on YouTube who have been kind of important to me this year. Our first Inspiration Thursday was other YouTubers also that have been helping me as I recently was diagnosed with a new chronic illness. Now, before this, I have had chronic migraines and some other chronic gastrointestinal issues, but this year, after having 2 babies back to back, was a little bit of a whammo. So that's going to be who we're going to talk about when we get to the inspiration part of the broadcast. But for right now, let's talk about mindset. So I have been doing some different things for the business. I've been really trying to show up and be authentic, which is all the stuff that I've been preaching all along anyway. And so I've been trying really hard to do that and do that well. But I have had some struggles with, like, well, you're not doing my thoughts. You're not doing YouTube right. You have to have a special intro and outro, and you have to have the end screen, and you have to have the iCards, and you have to have this, and you have to have that. Even though I have never set out for YouTube to be my main income. I don't want that. I just want it to be another resource so that I can share this mindset talk and give inspiration so that other people can go find other YouTubers to follow, or books to read, or things like that, or give author tips that I'm giving on my blog but people would rather watch in video form, like, it's things like that. And so I have these thoughts that are like, you're not keeping up with your blog the right way. You're not writing your blog the right way. You're not doing this or that the right way. And the fact of the matter is, I have been called to show up. I haven't been called to show up the exact same way everyone else has. I haven't been called to show up the exact same way that Amy Joe over here is going to show up, or that so and so over there is going to show up. I've just been called to show up. I've been called to show up for entrepreneur mamas, for author mamas, for mamas in ministry, for mamas struggling with mental illnesses or chronic health issues. I've just been called to show up. God has given me a pretty clear directive there, to just show up. He's given me some direction in what he has for me. And I should have kept one of my mugs, but I didn't. I sent them back with my mom. So he, through a very interesting process, set some product lines on my heart to create. So I have an Etsy store, which when this goes live on YouTube, or when the recording goes live on YouTube, that'll be linked below. But he has really been working with me on some stuff and showing up and just being there, just doing it. And my mindset has been a little lacking. I have this feeling of, no, I lost them. There they are. I have this feeling of imposter syndrome, where even talking to you about something as simple as mindset, I'm like, well, who am I to talk about this? Well, then I remember my qualifications. I actually do have a master's degree in psychology. I have experience as a licensed marriage and family therapist. I passed that test in 2 hours, unheard of. 2 hours, and I was done. I actually was finished at an hour and a half, but I was freaking out that it was too soon because everyone else was like, in my group, was taking to the end of time that they had, and it freaked me out. I passed the first try in an hour and a half, okay? So I have the book knowledge, but I also have the experience. I have actually served clients. Then there's my coaching certificate. I have that, and I have served clients. And then there's the writing that I've been doing for a decade now. A decade. A literal decade. My first published book came out in 9 years ago, September of 2011. Yes. Okay, I had to get my dates right. So I have the experience, right? So I have the education, and I have experience. So where does this mindset come from? Sorry, postpartum hair loss, and it freaks me out. Where does this mindset come from that I don't have what it takes to show up for you guys, whether it be on video, in a blog, in a book, in these products that I have designed and created? I figured out how to put some of these together and use what is available to me to put these things together. And who's to say that I don't have a right to do that? Who's to say that I don't have a right to speak up for people struggling with mental health issues? I am a retired licensed marriage and family therapist. I have struggled with my own trauma and mental health issues. So who's to say I can't show up and do that? Who's to say I can't show up and speak out for the mamas that are running their business? I have been running a business for 5 years now. 5 years, half a decade. I've been working for myself as either running my own business from home or as a contracted worker building my own business with other agencies. Okay? 5 years. And yet somehow every time I show up to do something like this voice in my head says, you're not enough. You're not good enough. You don't have it. But that's baloney, right? Because I do have it. So mindset. Mindset is really important. When I worked with clients as a therapist, most of the time I worked from a rational emotive behavior therapy theory standpoint, along with some narrative therapy. And the reason being is because I have seen empirical evidence that cognitive-based therapies work. They do work for your client, but you can't leave out the emotional element, which is where I went to REBT. I've seen CBT, REBT, DBT work really well because they're very inclusive as far as they look at the whole system, and they're very much, they don't focus on your past, but they address your past because they address where you've developed your schemas, where you've developed these automatic negative thoughts. Where did those come from? They address that. And so what I have really figured out, though, is that I can take some of those same principles and I've worked it in with my coaching clients, because not as a psychology theory, but as a coaching theory, I have determined that this works well to really help people adjust their mindset. Like, so I have helped other clients adjust their mindset, and it's been really beautiful to see. Okay, so pause on the mindset talk. So a reminder of how these work. They're just nail strips. You pick the size that works for your nail. I do my thumbs first, then start from pinky all the way over because I use my index fingers a lot. But you put the strip on, you press it down, and then you cut it free. Now, I'm actually going to use the cuticle pusher for this because this will actually be a really good tool. And I'm going to keep this for when I do my nails in the future. So you just cut around your nail so you can get a good cut. Now the glitter ones don't last as long. I've noticed this even with Color Street. The glitter ones don't last as long as the others, but they'll get me through to next week when I'm going to change them anyway. So it's okay. Some people have makeup. I clearly don't, if you're paying any attention, but I do like to do my nails. So, mindset. What happens is we get this idea based on circumstances that we've been through. We get this idea of who we are, what we have to offer, and whether or not we are worthy or valuable. And the fact of the matter is we are. I can show you exactly why I know that we are, and it comes from this book right here. This book will tell you your value. What will happen, though, is life circumstances and how we perceive them and interact with them will tell us differently. Now, circumstances will lie, and we have to be able to figure out the truth in them. And so circumstances might tell you you can't do this. You might have someone around you saying, no, you're not good enough. You failed in this way. Well, maybe that failure is exactly why you are the right person to speak on this. Maybe that failure is the precise reason someone needs to hear your voice talking about this. Maybe the fact that I lately have been feeling this not enoughness is exactly why I need to be the one speaking on it, because maybe it's that exact experience. Oh, yeah. This is a game changer. So if you're going to do Color Street, do yourself a favor and also go to Walmart, get one of these coconut nail art things so that you can have this, or just go buy one of these because they're really cheap. So this is a game changer, but my thumbs are done. Now we're going to move on to the pinkies. So, and with that said, I also will still have two different manicures from this. So I was wrong about that. So that's good too, because awesome. Yep, that'll be perfect. Because that one's too small. Okay, so it's make sure you know what voice you're listening to. Make sure you know what voice you are allowing to influence you, your work, and your opinion of yourself. Because, again, what will happen is circumstances will come along, and how we interpret them is really going to affect what we can do with them. Now, when circumstances come along that seem to tell us, whether it's just you feel anxiety or whatever it is that tell us no, we're not good enough, we have to find the exceptions to that. We have to find the times we were good enough, which is why I listed out all those things at the beginning of this video. My education, my experience, the fact that I actually have helped clients, and I have published books, and I have written blogs that have been very well received, that have been very understood and related to. That's why I shared those, because that's what you need to do for yourself. So some things that I teach again, I also teach this. So why it's so hard for me, I don't know, but it is. So some things I tell my students when we talk about building self-esteem and self-confidence. Again, those are, well, I say again, when I teach it, I start off with the fact that those are two different things. But when I teach about it, how to increase both, we do a simple exercise where the students are required to list out things that they are good at, things they like about themselves, and things that they're thankful for. So what I want to encourage you to do, if you need a mindset shift, my little nail tool disappeared. There we go. If you need a mindset shift, ooh, that was almost really bad. Language. If you need a mindset shift, do these things for me. Do the things that I tell my students and that I actually practice myself when I can, remind myself what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Either just in your head, in a note on your phone, on a piece of paper. If you have a bullet journal, that's a perfect place for this activity. Write down a few things that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're good at, that people recognize you for, things that you bring to the table. And then write out things that you like about yourself. With my students, because of a lack of time, we usually only do one thing. But for you have all the time in the world. You're just watching this on a video. Take some time and write out a few things that you like about yourself. Write out a few things that you're good at. Also, one of the things that also helps is writing out things that you just enjoy to do. Like, for me, it's these nail strips. I just enjoy doing my nails. So write out those things that you just enjoy doing, and write out the things you're thankful for. Because those things, when you reflect on them, when you have them written down in your own handwriting and you review them, it's going to start to shift your mindset. Now, this is important for a few reasons, because we write them down, I would say even more importantly than putting them like in a note on your cell phone, because when we write something in our own handwriting, our brain is like, oh, that's important, I should remember that. And so it's really helpful for us to pull it back up later and say, oh yeah, this was something I did really well, or this was something that I'm really thankful for. This is a good thing I have in my life, things like that. So I encourage you to write them down, but if you prefer your phone notes, then look, I'm not one to stop you. I'm just going to give you the psychological evidence, and you do you, because we're all going to do this differently. So that's one thing that I practice, probably not regularly enough. I probably need to get back into the habit of that. And then it's something I teach to my students. So if you are feeling not enoughness, if you are feeling like, things aren't going as well as I want them to in my business, I'm not doing things well enough in my business, if you are feeling that not enoughness so intensely, please do these things and know that you're not alone, because I'm right there with you. I've had this struggle recently where I'm just like, who am I? God's asking me to show up to do these things. Who am I to do them? Who am I to say, yeah, you should, you know. But the fact is, God's put me on this path for a reason. He's brought me to where I am. He has given me the resources to give to you. So I've only got two on each hand left to go. So while I do that, let's transition to some people that have shown up, that do what they that that show up for their people, that show up even in the pain, that show up and entertain and encourage, but who also know how to take a little self-care and take care of themselves a little bit. And so this week I have I think I only have 3 this week. So I have 3 for you this week, so this part will be a little shorter, but the 3 that I have to bring to you now are the first one is Katie. I think her last name is Carney. I'm not sure. She'll be linked below. Her greeting is always really cute to me. She's always really peppy. Hi, it's Katie, and I think that's so adorable. I don't have that pep in my life. Um, my joy comes from the same place hers does, but my joy did not come with that level of pep. It did not. And any level of pep I have is reserved for the younger children that I work with, because young kids require a lot of pep, you guys. So, um, she, I started following her because of her journey of living in her car. And I just really enjoy the fact that she just kind of does videos that she wants to do. And she did travel videos, and she just talks to the camera, and she just talks to us like we're her friends, and I love that. And so she's had her own health struggles and mental health struggles that I fully relate to. I am also supposed to be living gluten free, and I don't do it, which is all the time, which is probably why sometimes I get really not feeling very well. I'm working on it, but um, it's been really inspirational to see someone else who is really willing to be open and honest about all of her struggles and her own traumas and her own stuff that's been happening in her life. So go check her out, show her some love. She is obviously, things are a little different this year because of everything that's going on in the world. So her videos might look a little different than they used to, but you know what? I'm all about it. I'm still here for it. I still show up whenever she posts a new video. And you should too. The next person is a recent discovery, and this is more of an entertainment value, not so much a well, I kind of find her inspirational, but it's more of an entertainment value. It's also not something that I guess it is an inspiration, because it's kind of what made me think like, oh, I could do my nails while I talk, because I do these videos and I just talk because that's what I prefer to do. Um, and so I felt a little silly just talking without anything to do. So I was like, oh, I'll do my nails so you guys can get some ideas for some nail colors and maybe some nail strips that will work. Again, Walmart, very inexpensive. And the next set up, which is just in Cocoa, which is their main brand, is at Ulta. I just haven't gone there to get any yet. And then Color Street, you have to order from a Color Street representative, but they're really good, and I like their Color Street selection. It's their widest selection. So far, these are just as good of quality as Color Street. Um, just Walmart has a very, very limited selection available. And then Ulta has a little bit wider selection than Walmart. But then the Color Street is the widest selection and has just some really great options for colors and glitters and prints and patterns and things like that. So um, I'm all about all of them. I want to try them all. So far I'm actually kind of impressed with these Walmart ones. They won't last as long. They're a glitter base, and I just know how Color Street's glitters work. They won't last as long, but they will definitely last longer than the color I had on my nails when I started today. So this next person kind of like got me thinking about, well, she just kind of chats with the camera, but she does her makeup while she does it. I'm not gonna do my makeup, but I'll do this. And that person is Bailey Sarian. Now, if you haven't heard Bailey, if you like, what does she say? If you like makeup and you're interested in true crime, you should check her out because every Monday she does, well, most Mondays she does Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Monday. She has a great theme song, which I will not do for you because it's her theme song. So if you want to hear it, go check out those videos. They are awesome. And I am a true crime person. And so her videos kind of intrigued me. And she tells stories like my cousin does, which is also awesome because then I feel like I'm kind of watching my cousin tell a story. And it's just really fun. So she I just have found her entertaining, and I have also valued her willingness to be vulnerable and honest when she has needed to take breaks, when things have been a little overwhelming, when things have not been going the way she would prefer. So with that, my nails are done. And so go watch her, show her some love, listen to her tell you stories about murders and mysteries because it really is, she does a really good job with them. And the last person here for Inspiration Thursday is going to be my friend Laura. Now, Laura Noel is a personal friend. I know her in person. I know her online because I know her in person. And she has a blog and a YouTube channel, and she's a mom, and she has her own health journeys and mental health journeys she has been through. And she is just so sweet and wonderful. So her channel will be below, but so will her blog because I think she's focusing more on her blogs recently. But all of that will be linked below, but you should go check her out. If you are another mama like me who is struggling and you just want that encouragement, she's a really good place for that encouragement. She's a really good resource to reach out to. The other two, as far as I know, are not moms. So if you're another mom and you want to follow a mom, that's Laura. But all three of these ladies admit when they need to take a break. They give themselves grace and permission to take that break. And they do things kind of the way that they feel led to do them, and they hope people will follow, and if they do, great, and if they don't, they're still authentically themselves. And that's something that I want to do even now, having been diagnosed with this new chronic illness after having years of already having chronic illness. And I want that kind of grace for myself. I want that ability to say, hey, I need a break. Hey, I'm sorry I didn't show up this week, which I probably should have done this week, but I didn't because I really wanted to do my nails. And look, they're so pretty. They're all shiny. They're this, and I have a whole nother set of manicure here because I actually do half and half on like the corresponding nail. So this one did half of this thumb and then half of this thumb. So I still have another manicure left. So we'll see if they last as well as Color Street. But so far I'm impressed. I like the lowest tier and the highest tier. I just haven't tried the mid tier yet, but so far I'm impressed. In Cocoa, this is my favorite. In Cocoa, Color Street, and Coconut Nail Art, you got my vote. So with that, go check out those ladies, show them some love. I gotta go eat lunch and get ready for my afternoon classes and try not to fall apart for the rest of the day. So with that, I will see you guys next Thursday. It's not an Inspiration Thursday. It'll just be another chatty video about a topic. And so I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye, everybody.